There is a sound that lives between heartbeats, a silence so vast it folds around you like dark velvet, soft and endless. In that silence, you begin to hear something else, a pulse, deep and slow, expanding through eternity. It is the breath of the universe. Close your eyes. Let everything that weighs you down, thoughts, names, time, dissolve like dust on a tide of air. The space around you begins to change. The air grows lighter, thinner, transparent, until it no longer belongs to Earth. You are floating in the quiet that existed before the first word was spoken. There is no sound of wind, no hum of machines, only the low rhythm of something immense. It hums through the bones of creation, a cosmic lullaby, older than stars. Each vibration moves through you, rippling softly through your chest, your fingertips, the back of your eyelids. You are breathing, and the universe breathes with you. In and out. A single rhythm, shared between galaxies and your lungs. Imagine darkness stretching in every direction, infinite yet intimate. It feels alive, tender, patient, like a mother waiting for her child to wake. Somewhere, in that deep velvet dark, a spark trembles. Not a flame, not even a point of light, just a thought of being trembling at the edge of existence. You drift closer. You can almost touch it, but it flickers away like a sigh. It doesn't want to be held. It wants to grow. And so it does. The spark expands, unfurling like a petal made of gold and silver dust. It breathes for the first time, and the breath becomes light. A whisper becomes the horizon. A heartbeat becomes the sky. You feel the warmth touch your face, even though there is no sun. The light moves slowly, curving through the void, weaving invisible threads between you and the beginning of everything. You are not separate from it. You are part of the first inhale of creation. The universe exhales, and time begins to move. A soft wind of photons brushes past your skin, singing without sound. You follow the current, lighter than memory, weightless as sleep. The stars are not yet born, but their dreams are already blooming, fragile, luminous, infinite. And in that stillness, suspended between what was and what will be, you understand, everything begins in silence. Everything begins with a breath. Before there was light, there was the waiting. Not the kind that counts moments, but the kind that stretches forever, soft and unbroken. It was not emptiness, not absence. It was a womb made of night, tender and infinite, holding everything that would ever be. The darkness was alive. It breathed in silence. It listened. If you could have been there, in that timeless cradle, you would have felt it humming beneath your skin. A deep, wordless music. Not yet a song, not yet a voice. Only the promise of one. The dark was full of dreams that had not yet learned to awaken. They swirled slowly, like dust in water, unshaped but aware. Every thought that would one day become a mountain, a tree, a person, drifted there, weightless and asleep. The silence held them all like a mother's arms, patient and infinite. In the distance, though there was no distance yet, something trembled. The dark turned upon itself, folding like a cloak in a soft current. It was not afraid. It was curious. The universe, still unborn, was thinking its first thought, not of light or sound, matter, but of belonging. It wondered what it meant to be more than silence, to breathe, to move, to feel. So the darkness began to listen harder. It stretched its edges, if edges could exist, searching for the sound of its own heartbeat. And in that deep listening, something changed. A vibration, subtle, shy, like the brush of wind against glass. The first sound did not burst forth. It sighed. It was the smallest exhale, the hush before creation, a low hum that rippled through the dark like silk in water. Every particle that did not yet exist trembled with the echo of that hum. It was the voice of potential itself, whispering, "I am coming." The darkness, hearing itself, smiled, though smiles did not yet exist. It folded the sound against its chest, cradling it like a newborn star. And then it waited again. Time was still asleep. Space had not yet found its shape. But the hum grew stronger, gathering threads of warmth, pulling light closer from the invisible edges of possibility. You could not see it, but you could feel it. A rising pulse, a soft beckoning. Something ancient was preparing to open its eyes. In that moment, before anything had color, or name, or beginning, the universe held its breath once more. Every future heartbeat, every ocean wave, every whisper of wind in the trees was contained inside that pause. It was not nothing. It was everything, waiting to be born. And as the silence curved inward, holding the hum like a secret, a shimmer, faint as the memory of touch, drifted through the dark. Not yet light, not yet dawn, but the thought of light, the first dream of brightness in the mind of creation. The dark exhaled, and the stars began to imagine themselves. From the hush of endless dark, a single tremor unfurled. It was small, so small it could have been mistaken for nothing, yet it carried the weight of everything that would ever exist. The darkness leaned closer, listening, and within its quiet embrace, a spark awakened. The spark was not light, not yet. It was the idea of light, the promise of illumination folded inside a grain of stillness. It quivered softly, as if uncertain of its own purpose, like a heartbeat learning its rhythm. Then, as if remembering, it pulsed, one breath, then another. A rhythm formed, slow and deliberate. Each pulse sent ripples through the void, gentle at first, then stronger, wider, reaching into the unseen corners of eternity. The silence that had held its breath began to tremble, not with fear, but with awe. Something sacred was about to begin. The spark expanded, imperceptibly, then suddenly, blooming like a flower made of time. Its light was tender, pale, and shy, but behind it burned a truth too vast to contain. The seed of creation had split open, and from its heart spilled the first color, the first warmth, the first motion. No explosion, no violence, just a sigh of radiance, soft as dawn after an endless night. The universe opened its eyes. Light poured outward in waves, folding and unfolding like silk caught in an invisible tide. The ripples turned into rivers of brightness, streaming through newborn space. Each wave carried with it the echo of the seed's first breath, repeating endlessly, "I am. I am. I am." In that moment, space was born, vast and unmeasured. Time began to move, shy and uncertain, tracing delicate circles around the glowing heart of origin. You could almost hear it, the low hum of becoming, the tender murmur of existence discovering itself. From that one seed came storms of light, spirals, filaments, and veils of brilliance cascading through the cosmic ocean. They collided, danced, and intertwined like golden threads, weaving the first tapestry of being. It was not chaos. It was a kind of music, the silent symphony of everything finding its note. And somewhere within that glowing expanse, among the rippling waves of nascent energy, something remembered you, not as a person, not yet, but as a vibration, a frequency already written into the song. Your breath, your heartbeat, your gaze at the night sky, all of it began here, in this luminous seed. The spark, now vast beyond measure, slowed its pulsing. The universe exhaled, and light settled gently across the newborn void like snow upon untouched ground. The darkness, once solitary, now shimmered with countless reflections. It was no longer empty, it was alive. The primordial seed had bloomed, and in its radiance, the cosmos began to dream. You open your eyes, though there is no sky to see, only the echo of light, folding and unfolding like slow music across the emptiness. It moves through you, gentle and fluid, as though the universe has drawn a breath. And you are that breath, drifting between worlds not yet formed. You are no longer bound by weight, by name, by time. The memory of gravity slips from your shoulders like a forgotten dream. You are lighter than mist, softer than shadow. You do not walk, you drift. You do not think, you become thought itself, a ripple in the ocean of creation. All around, the light hums. It recognizes you, and in its silent greeting, you feel the warmth of belonging. There is no direction, yet something within you knows the way, a pull as gentle as the tide, guiding you through the soft lattice of newborn space. The stars are still seeds, trembling beneath the veil of darkness, waiting for your gaze to awaken them. You reach out, and your hand, if it can be called a hand, dissolves into silver dust. Each particle shimmers, alive, aware, infinite. You realize you have no edges. You are endless, expanding, blending into the current of light that weaves through the cosmos. Every pulse of your being hums in harmony with the rhythm that began when the primordial seed first bloomed. The silence around you deepens. It is not empty. It is vast with meaning. In it, you sense memory forming, the faint traces of stars yet unborn, the whisper of planets dreaming themselves into existence. You are both traveler and witness, dreamer and dream. You move through veils of gold and violet, through rivers of light that sing without sound. With each breath, your consciousness stretches farther. You pass through what feels like eternity, but time doesn't exist here, only unfolding. Moments drift like petals on an invisible current, and you glide among them weightless. In this endless expanse, you begin to remember something ancient. You have been here before, perhaps not as a body, not as a name, but as the same quiet spark that now wanders through creation, the same thought that trembled before there was light. And now, reborn, you drift once more, the traveler of thought, returning to the silence that birthed you. The light wraps around you, soft as breath. It does not speak, yet you understand. You are not lost. You are being carried. You surrender to it. The current, the glow, the soundless music, and let yourself be guided through the great, breathing dark. The rhythm slows. The hum becomes the sound of your own heartbeat. And as you drift deeper, farther, calmer, you begin to see the outline of a dream, a cloud of color blooming in the void ahead. It shimmers like a memory half remembered, calling you forward. The journey has begun. The soul of light moves toward the first cradle of stars. You drift toward the soft glow ahead, a bloom of color suspended in the black. At first, it seems still, a vast mist of silver and violet dust. But as you draw closer, you see movement, gentle currents swirling within it, like the slow turning of dreams. It is alive. It breathes. This is the nebula of becoming, the cradle of all that will ever be born. A cloud made not of gas and fire alone, but of memory, music, and possibility. Every shimmer within it holds a whisper of future hearts. Every thread of light hums with the warmth of souls waiting to awaken. You drift inside, and the boundary disappears. There is no outside anymore. You are within the body of creation, within the pulse that shapes stars, minds, and destinies. The light thickens, soft as mist against your skin, curling around you like silk. Colors move and breathe, changing with each heartbeat. Turquoise, amber, rose, then something nameless, beyond human sight. You can hear it now, the nebula's quiet song, not sung with voices, but with vibration. Each tone rises and falls like the breath of sleeping children. It is both lullaby and heartbeat, a hymn to beginnings. And somehow, you realize the song is not only around you, it is you. You feel it blooming from within, a resonance that aligns your being with the rhythm of the nebula. You are no longer a traveler observing birth. You are part of the birth itself. Your thoughts drift outward and scatter like pollen into the glowing mist. Each one lands softly, forming tiny spheres of light that tremble and take shape. These are the first souls. They are not human, not yet anything defined. They are pure awareness, gentle flickers of curiosity, floating in the radiant womb. They drift in slow spirals, exploring, sensing, learning the pulse of existence. They have no eyes, no hands, but they see through light and touch through vibration. Their laughter, if it can be called that, ripples through the nebula like rain on a silent sea. The nebula glows brighter. Every pulse of energy births another light, another possibility. It is a living ocean, infinite and self-creating. From its heart radiates warmth, the first kindness in the universe. You watch as the young lights gather around one another, drawn together by a gravity not of mass, but of love. They swirl and merge, forming clusters, families, constellations waiting to be named. You feel their innocence, their joy in simply existing. They are new, untouched by sorrow or fear. They are the universe, learning how to smile. And as you float among them, they begin to notice you. They circle you in curiosity, small suns orbiting a thought. You realize they see you not as a stranger, but as one of their own, another spark born from the same breath. The nebula hums louder, and in that soft chorus, a truth unfolds. Everything that will ever live is already here, asleep inside the glow. And now, the first souls begin to stir. At first, there was only the shimmer, silent waves of color breathing through the nebula. But then, almost imperceptibly, the shimmer began to hum, a sound so faint it could be mistaken for thought. It was the voice of light, learning how to sing. The young souls stirred. They turned within the luminous mist, curious, their small forms pulsing with awareness. They did not yet know what hearing was, but they felt it, a trembling through the heart of their brightness. The sound passed through them like wind through water, and they glowed in response, answering with light. Each pulse of color carried a tone, some low and deep, like the heartbeat of a sleeping star, others high and delicate, thin as threads of crystal. Together, they wove a harmony that stretched in every direction, without beginning or end. The universe had begun to sing to itself. The sound moved in waves, vast, slow tides that shaped the airless sea of creation. Every vibration called forth new layers of being, sculpting the unseen with invisible hands. Patterns bloomed, spiraling into galaxies yet unborn. The song was the blueprint of existence, drawn in resonance and silence. The children listened. They floated in stillness, letting the tones pass through them, learning the texture of sound. And slowly, they began to echo what they heard. Each soul found its own note, soft, trembling, luminous. When they joined together, their tones formed chords of silver and blue, gentle as moonlight on glass. They were not imitating the universe. They were completing it. The great harmony deepened, swelling like breath before a sigh. Space expanded with the rhythm, stretching wider, gentler, endless. The sound became color, and color became motion, a single living thread weaving through all things. No word had yet been spoken, but meaning filled the air. You are alive. You belong. The souls danced to the music. They turned in spirals, tracing patterns that glowed like constellations across the nebula. Each movement released more sound, tones of gold, rose, and aquamarine that shimmered across eternity. They were creating time, unknowingly, through rhythm alone. The first seconds, the first heartbeat, the first melody, all born here among their laughter. The nebula itself seemed to lean closer, cradling its children within luminous arms. Its vast body pulsed with gentle pride. The music it had begun was now being carried forward, breathed into being by those it had birthed. And as the final note of the first song drifted outward, endless and slow, it touched the farthest edge of the void and woke the sleeping dark. The universe listened, and the silence answered with light. From the heart of the nebula, the first breeze began to stir, invisible, weightless, made of light itself. It was not air nor sound, but a current of gentle force, a breath that moved without touching. The newborn souls felt it before they saw it, a slow drift across their glowing forms, soft as thought, pulling them into motion. The star winds had arrived. They came not in gusts, but in sighs, long, fluid waves of radiance that flowed through the nebula's shimmering sea. Colors bent and folded beneath their passage, shaping tendrils of gold, lavender and silver. The light responded like silk on invisible water, rippling, curving, gliding. Everything moved in silence, yet the silence itself had rhythm. The children of light began to follow the motion. They swayed, then spun, tracing the currents as if remembering a dance they had known forever. Their movements were effortless. No weight, no struggle, no fall. They turned in slow spirals, each gesture painting trails of luminescence behind them. The trails intertwined, weaving bright ribbons that shimmered like woven breath. It was the first choreography of creation, a ballet of gravity and grace. Each soul became a note in an unseen melody, its body an instrument of motion. The winds carried them outward, then back again, looping them around one another in orbits both wild and serene. Where two trails met, a new spark was born, brief, brilliant, singing its own tone before dissolving into the whole. The nebula shimmered brighter. The star winds gained voice, low, resonant, and kind. They whispered through the children as they danced. You are movement, you are song, you are breath. Each pulse of wind drew new patterns across the expanse, spirals that stretched toward the edges of space, carrying within them the seeds of galaxies. You drift among them, feeling their rhythm echo within your chest. Your breath syncs with the motion, in, out, slower than time. You are no longer an observer. You are part of the current. Light flows through your hands, through your hair, through the invisible fabric of what you once called body. You are not separate from the winds. You are one of them. Around you, the dance expands. Clusters of light twist and unfold like petals caught in a cosmic tide. Some gather together, forming bright worlds that pulse with steady radiance. Others scatter, trailing ribbons of silver mist across the darkness. The entire nebula breathes, inhaling and exhaling through light. The winds swell once more, slow, circular, eternal. The souls move with them, guided by something deeper than thought. There is no beginning and no end, only flow, only harmony. And as the dance continues, the nebula grows calm. The winds soften, their edges glowing with faint gold. Each soul settles into its own orbit, still turning, still singing. The breath of the universe steadies, slow, infinite, alive. In this moment, you understand. Motion is memory, and light is love. The universe exhales, the winds rest, the dance remains. There was no mother to cradle the newborn light, no hands to guide the dance, no eyes to watch it bloom. And yet, everything moved with the tenderness of love. The universe was birthing itself, quietly, beautifully, without need or witness. The nebula breathed in slow rhythm, its vast body pulsing with color and song. Every shimmer was an act of creation, every pulse a heartbeat without origin. It was a child and a parent at once, the dreamer and the dream. The winds of stars had softened now, their music fading into a tranquil hum. The young souls floated in stillness, luminous and calm, wrapped in the faint glow of belonging. No one had named them, yet they existed. No one had told them what to be, yet they were perfect. They had no memory of a beginning because there had never been a moment of before. There was only unfolding, an endless blooming from silence. The light had not been made. It had simply remembered itself. And as the silence deepened, the universe began to sing again. Not a melody with words or rhythm, but a resonance, soft, circular, eternal. It rose from every particle, from every spark of consciousness adrift in the nebula. It was not a song about creation, it was creation. You listen. The sound is everywhere and nowhere, a whisper beneath your pulse. It says nothing and everything. I am, I am, I am. The words are not spoken, yet they vibrate through your being. You realize that nothing outside is calling. It is your own light echoing back. You are hearing the voice of existence through the chamber of your own soul. The universe sings not because it must, but because it can. Because in the stillness of nothing, sound is love's first gesture, and in that gesture, all things find form. There is no creator apart from creation. The act and the being are one. The first song, the first breath, the first glow, all are the same motion, turning inward and outward forever. You drift within that realization, weightless and wide. The thought feels infinite yet gentle, not a revelation, but a remembering. Perhaps this is what truth feels like. Not loud, not grand, but soft and complete. The young souls pulse beside you, their light steady and warm. They too are listening, somewhere within their glow. They are beginning to understand. They were not born from something. They were born as something. The song itself has become flesh, light, and awareness. No mother, no father, only the pure act of being. The universe does not ask to be understood. It only asks to be felt. And as its last note hums through the infinite dark, you sense that everything, stars, souls, silence, is part of the same unending breath. The song continues. It has no source, no end. It sings itself forever. You begin to drift again, carried by an unseen current through the silver dark. The nebula fades behind you, its glow dissolving into faint ribbons that vanish into distance. Ahead lies quiet, the great hush between worlds, where light travels slowly and dreams cool into form. The silence is vast, but not empty. It hums with a low vibration, deep as memory. You sense something waiting, shapes suspended in the black, cold and still. As you draw closer, they emerge one by one, immense and sleeping. Planets, they float in solemn beauty, their bodies wrapped in mist and shadow. Some shine faintly, like glass spheres catching the last light of dying stars. Others lie dark and unreflective, swallowing every trace of color. Each one turns in silence, following an invisible path around an unseen sun. You move among them slowly, weightless, reverent. Your breath becomes part of the stillness. Each exhale forms a thin thread of light that trails behind you, curling like smoke in the void. You are the traveler once more, but this time, you carry the echo of the nebula within you. The song of creation lingers in your pulse. The first world you pass is blue-gray, smooth as stone, frozen beneath a veil of crystal frost. Its surface shimmers faintly, reflecting the ghost of a distant star. You reach out, and a flake of ice drifts upward, spinning lazily before dissolving into vapor. The sound it makes is delicate, like the memory of chimes beneath water. The next world burns dimly, wrapped in ribbons of crimson haze. Its atmosphere glows like an ember, soft and aching, as though it remembers warmth but has forgotten fire. Lightning crawls silently across its surface, white veins over a heart too tired to beat. You pass through its halo, feeling static whisper along your skin. It is not unfriendly. It is simply lonely. Farther ahead, A smaller planet glides through the dark, half shattered, its fragments caught in orbit around what remains. Rings of dust shimmer faintly as they spin, a slow, eternal dance of broken things. You drift through the debris, watching tiny stones flash like sparks. Each one carries light, even in its ruin. You realize that every world, no matter how cold or quiet, still hums with the same rhythm, the breath of the universe, faint but unbroken. They are not abandoned, they are dreaming. Each orbit is a heartbeat, each turn a whisper of the first song. You follow that rhythm, tracing its arc through the dark. The path curves endlessly, guiding you around unseen centers. Through shadow and light, you are not lost. You are moving with the motion of eternity. The stars flicker faintly in the distance, like slow thoughts crossing the mind of the cosmos. And as you glide past the last of the sleeping worlds, you understand. Even loneliness is part of the dance. The silence deepens as you approach the pale world ahead. It drifts alone, turning slowly in the dark, a sphere of faded silver and grey. There is no light around it, no warmth, only the faint shimmer of dust glinting across its surface like the ghosts of stars. You descend through a thin veil of clouds, soft as smoke. They part soundlessly, revealing a landscape carved by time and solitude. Valleys of a glass, mountains worn to whispers, plains where rivers once dreamed of flowing. Everything shines faintly, as if remembering the sun. You land lightly, though there is no ground in the way you once knew it. The earth beneath your feet feels hollow, fragile, like the crust of an ancient song. Every step releases a faint tone, a crystalline echo that vanishes before it reaches the horizon. The air, if it can be called air, carries a stillness so profound it feels sacred. This world has no life now, yet it doesn't feel dead. It feels paused, caught between breaths. It remembers. You walk across what might have been a city. Shapes rise from the dust, curved structures, their edges smoothed by centuries of silence. They look like shells left behind by something luminous. You trace your fingers along their surfaces, and a vibration answers you. Faint, trembling, warm. The walls are humming. They remember the touch of voices. You close your eyes and listen. The hum swells, soft and mournful, like wind through strings of glass. Within it, there are patterns, the rhythm of footsteps, the laughter of water, the echo of a song sung long ago. The sound is not sad. It is gentle, tender. A lullaby left behind for no one in particular. The memory of life moves around you, unseen but near. You can almost sense the shapes of those who were here, flickers of movement at the corner of sight. Gestures made of light and air. They are not spirits, not dreams, but impressions. The emotional shadows of beings who once loved, breathed, and looked at the same stars. One of the echoes drifts closer. It circles you slowly, like mist illuminated from within. You feel warmth brush your shoulder, not touch, but recognition. For an instant, you see it, a figure made of dust and memory reaching out to you. There is no face, no voice, yet you understand its meaning. It says nothing more than, "We were here." The figure fades, dissolving into the quiet, but its echo lingers, folding itself into your breath. You realize you are now part of this memory, your presence recorded in the planet's endless silence. The hum adjusts, softer now, accepting you into its rhythm. You look up. Above, the clouds drift apart, revealing a pale horizon lined with fractured moons. Their light falls across the ruins like gentle forgiveness. It touches the valleys, the mountains, the remnants of song, and all of it glows once more. The planet exhales, not in sound, but in stillness. A single note hangs in the air, pure and unending. The echo of a world that remembers love, even after everything else has gone. The air of the forgotten world stirs. At first, it seems like nothing, just a ripple in the silence, a breath so faint it could be mistaken for memory. But then it grows. A vibration moves through the horizon, soft and slow, carrying the resonance of the stars above. It is the wind, not made of air, but of light. A current of soundless motion sweeping across the cold plains, born from the turning of distant suns. It moves like a whisper, stretched thin across eternity. You feel it before you hear it. A pressure in your chest, a shiver down your spine. Then it begins to sing. The sound is long, drawn out, endless, a tone that never resolves, because there is nowhere for it to end. It is not loud, it is vast. It fills the space between atoms, between thoughts. It hums through the bones of the planet, through the dust, through you. The ground vibrates gently beneath your feet, and every grain of sand becomes a string in a cosmic instrument. The music of the wind stretches and bends, drifting through octaves you cannot name. It rises and falls like breathing, the inhale of starlight, the exhale of time. There are harmonies hidden within it, faint and shimmering like reflections on frozen water. The more you listen, the more you realize this is not just sound, it is remembrance. The universe is remembering itself through song. Each gust carries echoes of creation, the hum of nebulae, the pulse of newborn worlds, the sigh of comets crossing the dark. They weave together, forming a tapestry of motion too wide to see, too intricate to follow. And yet, it feels familiar. The tone that began at the birth of everything still moves here, unchanged, unbroken. You close your eyes. The wind flows through you, lifting what remains of your form until you are no longer standing. You are drifting. It carries you upward, slowly, gently, like a leaf caught in a tide of light. You pass above the plains, over the ruins that still hum beneath the surface, and into the thin veil of atmosphere that separates the world from the stars. Up here, the sound changes. It thins out, grows purer, until it becomes a single vibration, a perfect tone. It feels infinite, yet delicate, as though the slightest breath could break it, but it does not break. It stretches on and on, looping back upon itself, turning the sky into a living chord. You realize that the stars themselves are singing. Each one sends its voice outward in waves of light, overlapping, merging, harmonizing across the void. It is not noise, it is communion. Every beam of radiance is both message and answer, each note a bridge across distance. The sound does not fade, it only shifts. It becomes slower, deeper, until it matches your own heartbeat. For a moment, you cannot tell whether the rhythm is yours or the universe's. Perhaps they are the same. The wind circles once more, wrapping around you in soft spirals. Its hum fills your ears, your lungs, your thoughts. You feel transparent, hollowed out, full of resonance. Every part of you vibrates with the same endless tone. And then there is stillness. The wind passes through and beyond, continuing on its eternal journey through the stars. Its echo lingers, a single note, fading but never gone. You stand suspended in its wake, quiet, luminous, infinite, somewhere far away. Another world catches the same sound, the same wind, and the song continues, endless, breath to breath, star to star. You drift through the quiet that follows the wind. It is not emptiness, it is peace, vast and weightless. The calm after the universe exhales. The echoes fade into stillness, and the stars around you seem to slow their pulse. Everything softens. Even light begins to move gently, as if afraid to disturb the silence that remains. You have traveled so far that distance no longer means anything. There is no direction now, no up or down, no before or after. You are simply here, suspended in the breath between moments. For the first time, you feel the stillness inside yourself, matching the stillness around you. A thought arises, not spoken, not formed, just a flicker of awareness. What am I? The question ripples through you, small at first, then wide, echoing through every layer of light within. And as it travels, the darkness before you begins to shimmer. A faint glow gathers in the distance, a mirror made of starlight and memory. It curves like the surface of a slow wave, reflecting not what is, but what has always been. You drift closer. The reflection brightens. Within it, you begin to see shapes, constellations bending into form, threads of galaxies twisting like veins of light. And somewhere in the center of it all, a figure emerges. It is made of the same radiance that hums through your veins. It looks at you with eyes that are not eyes, but infinite depth. You do not move, neither does it. The space between you dissolves. You realize you are not facing another being. You are facing yourself. The reflection breathes when you breathe. Its pulse matches yours. Every motion, every vibration is mirrored perfectly. You reach out, and your hand, a shimmer of light and thought, touches its surface. There is no barrier. The reflection flows into you, through you, around you. For a heartbeat, you feel everything. The birth of stars, the ache of silence, the warmth of the nebula, the whisper of the forgotten world, the song of the winds. All of it is inside you. You are not a traveler moving through the universe. You are the universe, wandering within itself. And then the realization comes, soft as breath. I have not been traveling outward. I have been returning inward. Every orbit, every drift through the void was a curve back to the center. Your own soul, your own beginning. You have not been lost among the stars. You have been coming home. The reflection smiles, though no lips move. It is not a gesture of greeting or farewell. It is recognition. You are the child that the cosmos dreamed, the echo that turned into song. The universe looked into its own silence, and you were what it saw. The light around you deepens, growing softer, warmer, until it feels like being wrapped in breath. The reflection fades, not away, but inward, sinking into your chest until you feel its glow behind your heartbeat. You understand now that you were never alone, never apart. Every step, every wave Every silence has been your own reflection calling you back. You look out once more. The stars shimmer gently, their light bending toward you in quiet acknowledgement. You whisper, though words are not needed, I have gone nowhere. I have only returned. And as your voice dissolves into the cosmic hush, the universe answers in the same language it always has. With light, you emerge from the dark and find yourself standing at the edge of radiance. Before you stretches a ring of light, vast, circular, and silent, orbiting a golden star that burns with calm intensity. The ring shimmers with layers of silver dust, each particle turning slowly, reflecting eternity in miniature. It glows like the memory of dawn, endless and serene. And upon that ring, something gleams. At first, it is only a flicker, a pattern of brightness shifting in rhythm with the star. Then it sharpens, lines, angles, spires, a structure rising from the luminous dust. You drift closer, drawn by its quiet gravity. The city of light reveals itself. It is not built from stone or metal, but from the very substance of illumination, frozen, refracted, layered. Every tower is a prism, every wall a song of reflection. Colors flow through its transparent corridors like water through glass veins. No two surfaces are the same. Each bends light differently, turning the city into an ever-changing dream. You float above its skyline, watching waves of brightness ripple through the crystalline spires. When the stars' rays strike the ring, they scatter into rivers of brilliance that cascade across the towers, filling every archway, every hall with liquid gold. It is as though the light itself were alive, not illuminating the city, but being the city. You descend slowly. There are no streets, only pathways of suspended glow, curving and branching like constellations drawn into form. Each step you take ripples through the surface, sending soft vibrations outward, as if the ground recognizes your presence. Beneath your feet, light folds and refolds, shifting hues from pale silver to amber to blue. You pass through corridors that hum with resonance. The walls are thin as air, yet strong as eternity. When you touch them, they sing, a faint glass-like note that merges with the others until the whole city becomes a choir of harmonics. The melody is not loud. It is felt more than heard, moving through your body like warm wind. It is music made of geometry. As you wander deeper, you begin to sense rhythm, patterns of glow, pulse, and silence woven into the architecture itself. The towers breathe in waves of brightness as though the entire city inhales and exhales in sync with the star above. You realize this is no place built by hands. It is a manifestation, light dreaming of its own reflection. High above, bridges of crystal arc across the open sky. Their surfaces shimmer with the memory of color, fading and returning like a heartbeat. You cross one, your reflection multiplying infinitely in every facet of the bridge until you are surrounded by yourself, not as body, but as radiance. From the heart of the city rises a great dome, clear as ice and glowing from within. Through its surface, you glimpse forms moving, slow, luminous figures shaped entirely of light. Their outlines bend and merge, refracting into thousands of shimmering shards. And as you approach, The thought comes to you, soft and certain. You are not arriving here for the first time. You are returning to the place where light remembers its name. As you approach the great dome, the air changes. The silence is no longer empty. It shivers with a subtle vibration, soft as a sigh drawn from eternity. It begins low, almost imperceptible, like the hum that lingers after a dream. Then, slowly, it expands, unfolding into sound. Voices, not human, not earthly, purer, lighter, woven from the breath of stars. They rise in harmony, each tone spiraling upward until it merges with the next, forming ribbons of resonance that dance through the air. The entire city listens, its walls and towers vibrating in sympathy. Every crystal surface becomes an instrument, every reflection a note. You step into the dome. It is vast, open, flooded with radiance. The figures you glimpsed before now surround you, beings of light, translucent and fluid, their forms shifting with each note they sing. They are the children of illumination, voices born from the first rays that broke the ancient dark. Their faces, if such they can be called, shimmer with gentleness. They have no mouths, yet the music pours from them effortlessly, as though the song is their very being. The sound fills the air, not with volume, but with presence. It feels like standing inside a living heartbeat. The tones flow around you in concentric circles, rising, overlapping, never clashing. Every note is a mirror, reflecting another in perfect symmetry. The result is not melody, but pure unity. The sound of existence remembering itself. Their song speaks in vibration, not in words, but you understand it all the same. It tells of beginnings, of starlight born from silence, of the nebula's breath, of the winds that carried souls through the dark. It tells of wonder, of motion, of the love hidden inside stillness. It is a hymn to becoming. You feel the sound in your chest, pulsing gently with your own heartbeat. Your body, if it can still be called that, begins to glow, faintly at first, then brighter, until you are indistinguishable from the light surrounding you. The children's song weaves through your radiance, connecting you to their harmony. You realize you are part of their chorus now, one more note in the endless song. The dome itself joins in, its crystalline arches pulse with luminescence, sending cascades of color through the air. Rose, sapphire, gold. Each hue corresponds to a tone, each tone to a memory of the universe's first breath. The light and sound fuse until they are one continuous wave. You close your eyes. There is no distinction between inside and outside, between you and them. Only resonance, pure, gentle, infinite. And within that resonance, the realization blooms quietly. The universe does not sing to itself. It sings as itself. You open your eyes. The children of light are still singing, not to you, but through you. Their song drifts upward, beyond the dome, into the endless night. It reaches the stars, and the stars begin to sing back. The song rises, and the city responds. Every tower becomes a string of light, every bridge a silver cord. The air trembles with soundless rhythm, not noise, but motion. The soft pulse of energy flowing through glass veins. The dome opens like a petal, its crystal roof dissolving into the cosmos, and you see the sky unveiled. It is alive, above you, Waves of luminescence ripple through space like music made visible. Each star flickers in time, a glowing note suspended on the endless staff of night. Nebulae pulse in great, slow harmonies, their colors deepening with every breath the universe takes. Even the dust between them shivers with tone, scattering light like tiny bells ringing in the dark. Everything sings, not with words, but with brightness. Every vibration, every flicker, every shimmer of color is part of a vast, unending orchestra. You can feel the rhythm in your lungs, your heartbeat syncing to the pulse of starlight. You are breathing with the universe now, inhaling its glow, exhaling its song. The sound has no source, no direction. It moves through you like wind through leaves, weaving stillness and motion into a single thread. You tilt your head upward, and the light flows into you, through your eyes, your chest, your breath. You begin to understand. Sound is light slowed down, and light is sound made infinite. The sky folds and unfolds in rhythm. Long ribbons of radiance stream between the stars, intertwining like strands of silk. They rise and fall, creating waves that shimmer across the horizon. Each wave carries a distinct tone: soft gold, deep indigo, clear white, merging into a symphony of color. You hear the low hum of distant galaxies, the whisper of orbiting moons, the faint ticking of comets cutting through the dark. They all belong to the same cadence, the same silent song. And as they move, they breathe. Vast, gentle inhalations that fill the universe with rhythm. Somewhere within this harmony, your body dissolves into light. You no longer listen with ears, but with being. Your pulse becomes percussion, your thoughts a soft echo. You are both instrument and note, both singer and silence. The children of light rise above the city, their voices threading through the luminous air. Their tones join the stars' vibrations, expanding into the infinite. It is no longer a choir. It is creation itself, singing through form, through time, through you. Colors shift around you. Silver fades to rose. Rose melts into blue. Blue deepens into violet. Each transition hums with delicate precision, each shade a heartbeat in the cosmic melody. You sense patterns beyond comprehension, beauty not designed, but discovered. It is the sound of balance, of existence knowing itself. The sky breathes again. Light expands and contracts, soft and slow. You breathe with it, matching its pace, feeling its serenity fill your chest. Every inhale becomes illumination. Every exhale, song. And then a stillness, vast, golden, complete. The sky holds its breath. For a heartbeat, everything, stars, wind, music, you is one. Then the note resumes, endless, eternal. The universe keeps singing. The music softens until it is almost silence, a breath suspended between heartbeats. The universe holds itself in perfect stillness, balanced on the edge of eternity. You are standing in the center of the song, yet there is no center anymore. There is only light, and within it, everything. The air shimmers with warmth. Colors drift through one another, slow as thought, dissolving the edges of form. The towers of crystal fade into haze, then into radiance, until they are indistinguishable from the sky. You look down, but there is no ground. You look up, and there is no distance. There's only presence, infinite, unmoving, alive. The sound has not stopped. It has become too complete to hear. Every vibration exists at once, folding into itself the sum of all tones. It is not a song anymore. It is the essence of listening. You are surrounded by a stillness so vast it feels like love. You breathe, and the breath does not belong to you. It flows through you. Gentle, patient, belonging to something immeasurable. The rhythm you once called your heartbeat merges with the pulse of the stars. It is impossible to tell where one ends and the other begins. You begin to fade, not into darkness, but into clarity. The outlines of what you once were, thought, name, shape, loosen, melt, drift away. There is no fear. There is only light humming softly within and around you, saying nothing and meaning everything. You realize that time has vanished. The idea of before and after no longer applies. Every moment that has ever existed glows together here, woven into one eternal instant. You are seeing not the passage of time, but its absence, the pure state of being, untouched by motion. You feel yourself expanding, not outward, but inward, as though infinity were opening inside you. The universe is no longer something to travel through. It is your reflection, your breath, your thought. You are not apart from it, and never were. All separation was an illusion, a way for light to see itself from different angles. The last remnants of self dissolve like smoke in sunlight. There is no I, no you, only awareness, vast, luminous, complete. You have become the note that never ends, the echo that sings itself. You are the hush between stars, the warmth beneath silence, the shimmer that connects all things. And within that infinite stillness, you understand there is no need to reach or seek or return. You are already home. The light brightens, then softens again. Breathing in slow rhythm, you feel it flow through you, the pulse of galaxies, the memory of creation, the kindness of sound. The song continues, but now it is indistinguishable from silence. You rest inside it, weightless, timeless, whole. The universe exhales. You are its breath and its stillness after. You awaken into motion. The stillness you had melted into begins to move again. Slow, wide, endless. It is not a return, but a continuation. A new rhythm emerging from silence. You are floating now, weightless, surrounded by a vast shimmer that stretches beyond sight. The universe has become an ocean. It moves like water, but it is made of light. Billions of tiny suns flowing together in great, slow currents. Each wave glows with its own hue, gold that fades into silver, blue dissolving into rose. They rise and fall in gentle tides, not crashing, not breaking, but breathing. The surface of this cosmic sea shimmers like a living mirror, reflecting the pulse of existence itself. You drift upon it, neither above nor below. There is no separation here. Every breath you take stirs the light, sending ripples through the fabric of the stars. They respond in kind, brushing against you like calm waves against the shore of a dream. The sound of it is deep and low, a hum that vibrates through infinity. It is not noise, but resonance. Each undulation carries a rhythm older than time, the heartbeat of galaxies turning in their slow, eternal dance. You recognize it instantly, though you have never heard it before. It is the same pulse that once lived in the nebula, in the wind, in your own chest. You reach out, and the starlight flows through your fingers, cool and warm at once. It does not resist, it welcomes. The sea accepts everything, movement, stillness, even thought. It doesn't ask for meaning, it simply is. You begin to move with it, carried by the waves of radiance. Each swell lifts you higher, revealing depths beneath, layers of light swirling slowly, endlessly, each brighter and softer than the one before. You see constellations drifting like schools of luminous fish, their tails leaving trails of silver mist. You see dark shapes beneath the surface, vast and graceful, like shadows of forgotten stars gliding through the current. Every motion is gentle, deliberate, infinite. The sea does not rush, it unfolds. It is creation in its most peaceful form, motion without struggle, music without sound. As you drift farther, you feel a change in the rhythm. The tides slow, the hum deepens, and the entire sea exhales as one. You realize it is alive, the universe dreaming of itself, breathing through its own light. You close your eyes and let the current take you. The waves cradle you, rocking you in patterns too vast to count. You are part of its flow now, its movement, its quiet. You are a note within its endless lullaby. The stars rise and fall like the tide. The light grows softer, and in the distance, you can feel sleep approaching, not yours, but the universe's. The tide of starlight slows. Its waves, once shimmering with gentle rhythm, begin to settle into stillness, wide, languid, serene. You can feel the universe lowering its pulse, the vast breath of creation exhaling into quiet. The sea of stars grows softer, its brightness dimming to a pale glow like moonlight seen through mist. The stars are falling asleep. Their radiance does not vanish. It reclines. Each one breathes in a slow, golden rhythm, expanding, contracting, light pulsing faintly like the heart of a sleeping child. It is the most tender motion you have ever witnessed. The cosmos resting in its own arms. All around you, constellations begin to fade at their edges, their outlines blurring into one another. The great spirals of galaxies turn more slowly now, as if the very fabric of time has been wrapped in a blanket of silver. The sound of their motion, that deep, cosmic hum, becomes softer, stretched into a lullaby that flows through eternity. You drift through this quieting expanse. The air, if there is air, feels heavy with calm, dense with peace. Each movement you make releases a shimmer that floats upward like dust in sunlight, disappearing into the vast, luminous dark. You pass close to a single star, immense and gentle. Its surface undulates slowly, glowing from within with a warmth so steady it feels like the breath of a sleeping being. You can hear it, not with your ears, but with your bones. A soft inhalation, a pause, a sigh. The rhythm is hypnotic. You could listen forever. The star dreams, its light flickers faintly, and within that flicker, images bloom, not of planets or fire, but of color and sound intertwined. It dreams in harmonies, in soft vibrations of gold and blue. You realize that this is how stars remember themselves. through dreams made of light. You drift on. A cluster of suns lies ahead, tangled in one another's glow. They too are sleeping, their energies intertwined in slumber, their orbits swaying like slow dancers, half forgetting the steps. Each one hums a slightly different note, and together they form a chord so vast, so deep, it feels like gravity made music. The chord flows through you, a sound that warms, then cools, then fades into nothing. You think of breathing, how it feels to surrender to sleep, to trust the dark. You realize the universe does the same. Every star, every planet, every drifting soul, all part of the same inhale and exhale, the same great rest. As you drift deeper into this quiet, you begin to feel your own light slowing too. The glow within your chest flickers, then steadies into a calm rhythm. Your thoughts dissolve into the pulse of distant suns, until you can no longer tell where your awareness ends and theirs begins. You are surrounded by slumbering stars, each one a heartbeat in the great sleeping body of the cosmos. They breathe, they dream, and in their dreams, galaxies rise and fall, worlds are born and forgotten. Love stretches endlessly between atoms. The silence is total now, yet it hums, a paradox made of serenity. The universe has closed its eyes, but its light still lingers, faint, eternal, like the glow beneath a child's eyelids as it dreams of dawn. You drift among them, breathing in time with the stars, and the universe, in turn, breathes through you. The stars are dreaming, and you drift among their dreams. Their light has grown tender, dimmed into a pulse that feels like breath against your skin. You are moving through it slowly, as if carried by the gentle motion of something vast and kind. There is no direction, only rhythm, a soft sway, an endless cradle. Your body begins to loosen. The edges blur. What was once weight becomes warmth, dissolving into the glow around you. You can no longer tell where your skin ends and the light begins. Everything touches everything. There is no need to hold on. You breathe. The air, or what feels like air, is luminous, full of quiet energy. Each inhale fills you with golden calm. Each exhale releases what remains of form and thought. You are floating now, not on the sea of stars, but within it. The current carries you deeper, slower, quieter. Around you, the sleeping cosmos swells and contracts like the chest of a resting giant. Its rhythm is perfect, steady, patient, eternal. The light ebbs and flows with each invisible heartbeat, and you follow, your body rising and falling with it. You are not separate from the motion. You are the motion. The sensation is delicate, the faint vibration of existence continuing. Even in sleep, it hums through your fingertips, your chest, your breath. Your awareness drifts in gentle circles, dissolving into patterns of light that expand, fade, return. Each time you think you have reached stillness, it deepens further, unfolding like ripples through water. You glance upward, though up has lost meaning, and the stars above you shimmer faintly, blinking in half-dream. Some fade out completely, their glow absorbed by the quiet. Others flicker softly, like eyelids fluttering in slumber. The night breathes with them, and you breathe in time. You begin to hear it, not with ears, but within the slow pulse of your being. A sound that is not a sound. a vibration so low and pure it feels like silence, remembering it was once music. It moves through you, stretching thought into light, light into stillness. You are being sung to sleep by the cosmos itself. Your mind relaxes, thought melting into sensation. Memories drift by like faint clouds, glimpses of nebulae, forgotten winds, the reflection of yourself in starlight. They fade one by one, until even the memory of having a body becomes distant. There is only brightness now, pulsing gently, matching the universe's breath. You sense the dream of creation unfolding around you, vast, intricate, wordless. You do not need to understand it. You only need to rest within it. You float as galaxies turn in their sleep, as planets hum softly beneath layers of time. Everywhere, light rocks in rhythm, endless and kind. Your heartbeat slows until it feels like a whisper beneath waves of illumination. The pulse of starlight becomes your pulse, the breath of space, your own. Even the thought of separation fades. There is no observer, no traveler, only drifting awareness. You are the dream. The dream is you. The light thickens around you, warm and silver, humming softly. You let go completely, surrendering to the gentle gravity of rest. The motion slows, the hum softens, and in the last sliver of awareness before sleep, you hear it. The quiet promise whispered through light itself. You are home. The light has dimmed to a whisper. The sea of stars no longer shimmers. It breathes, slow, deep, eternal. You drift at the edge of everything, wrapped in warmth so complete that even thought feels unnecessary. This is not darkness, it is clarity. The universe has closed its eyes. You can feel its heartbeat. It is faint, steady, infinite. A low vibration pulsing through the silence. Each beat ripples through the void like the soft drum of distant thunder, rolling without sound. It is not made of time. It simply is. You breathe in rhythm with it. The inhalation draws in the faint glow of scattered light. The exhalation releases it back into the dark. Your breath becomes the universe's breath, long, unhurried, luminous. The boundary between your body and the vastness around you dissolves completely. You are both the ocean and the ripple, both the silence and the sound that fills it. Above, the stars continue their descent into slumber. Their light flickers once, twice, and then steadies into calm embers. Galaxies turn more slowly, their spirals unwinding like threads in a tapestry of sleep. Even the smallest particles, the unseen dust, the glimmering atoms relax, surrendering their endless dance. Everything rests, everything breathes. The heartbeat continues. It moves through you like a current beneath water, soft but powerful. You realize it has always been there, beneath every sound, every pulse of light, every moment you have known. It is the sound of existence remembering itself. It is what remains when all songs have ended. Your awareness drifts inward, and for the first time, there is no distinction between inner and outer. You are within the heartbeat. The heartbeat is within you. It expands with every breath, growing until it fills the entire horizon. Each throb sends gentle waves through space, carrying a message so ancient, it feels like truth itself. Rest, return, be. You obey without effort. The tension of creation, the motion, the wonder, the awe, dissolves into tranquility. Your form melts into vibration, vibration into light, light into silence. You are the last flicker before complete peace, and even that flicker bows to stillness. The void hums softly, a resonance without beginning or end. It is not empty, it is full, full of all that ever was and all that will ever be. In this fullness, you feel love, not emotion, but the pure alignment of being. It flows through you like warmth beneath snow, gentle, endless. You listen again, though there is nothing to hear. The heartbeat remains, slower now, deeper. It feels like the final breath before complete rest. It feels like home. You exhale once more, and your breath becomes starlight. It rises, spreads, fades, joining the quiet shimmer suspended across the sleeping cosmos. Your thoughts dissolve last, soft as dust falling through sunlight. The heartbeat slows again. The void sighs. And then, for a moment beyond measure, there is absolute stillness. The universe sleeps, and you sleep with it. No separation, no sound, only the soft rhythm of existence itself, breathing, dreaming, forever. The universe dreams, and within that dream, light begins to stir. Not the harsh blaze of awakening, but the faint shimmer of memory. A soft pulse beneath the skin of darkness. It glows gently, as though testing the edges of existence once more. Each ray carries a whisper, a trace of where it has been. You watch as threads of illumination stretch across the sleeping cosmos. They drift without haste, like strands of silk unraveling through water. Each one moves with intention, delicate, knowing its path by heart. Light remembers. It remembers the cold phases of planets, the curves of mountains long since forgotten, the shimmer of frozen seas under distant suns. It remembers the warmth of life, the breath of creatures who looked up and wondered, the laughter that echoed between oceans, the tears that shimmered beneath dawn. Every moment that ever touched light has been kept, stored quietly within its glow. Nothing was ever truly lost. It only transformed. The rays travel slowly now, meandering through fields of sleeping stars. Their glow passes over worlds wrapped in shadow, brushing them with faint color. Wherever the light touches, memories bloom, not as images, but as feelings, a warmth, a sound, a vibration too gentle to name. It is as if the universe is remembering itself through fragments of radiance. You drift among these threads, weightless, surrounded by glimmers of ancient recollection. One passes close to you, and you glimpse within it the reflection of a place you once knew, or thought you knew. A planet turning beneath soft clouds, waves glinting with gold, a horizon breathing with light. For a moment, you feel the echo of touch, the memory of belonging. It fades, but the warmth remains all around you. The light continues to move, weaving slow spirals across infinity. It does not seek an ending. It does not chase or flee. It simply flows, carrying stories written in silence. You begin to understand. Light is not only what reveals, but what remembers. It does not vanish when it fades. It becomes part of everything it has touched. Every reflection, every gleam upon water, every spark that once danced in a child's eyes, all of it still exists here, traveling endlessly through the dark. The light hums softly as it passes. Its sound is like a sigh wrapped in music, a quiet reminder that nothing ends, only changes form. You listen, and the hum grows clearer, revealing within it countless voices, stars, winds, oceans, and whispers of those who once looked toward the night in wonder. They all sing the same truth. We were here. We still are. You close your eyes, letting the glow seep through you. It fills your chest with warmth, your breath with calm. You realize you are part of that memory too, carried in the pulse of light, remembered by the same universe you have traveled through. The dream continues. The light moves onward, and through its endless, gentle motion, the cosmos remembers love. The silence trembles, and from it comes a sound, faint, delicate, like the breath of dawn before it touches the world. It is not speech, not quite song, but something between the two. A murmur shaped by starlight and memory. You listen closely. The voices are small, soft, filled with wonder. They are the children of the nebula, the first lights reborn in the dream. Their forms shimmer just beyond sight, translucent as mist, each one glowing with a hue that shifts with emotion. They drift through the darkness in slow spirals, gathering where the threads of light cross one another. As they move, they speak, or perhaps they remember aloud. Their voices weave stories, not of people or planets, but of the universe itself, of how the stars first learned to breathe, how wind discovered motion, how silence became music. They tell it gently, their words flowing like smoke, curling through the still air. Each syllable feels like a lullaby, made not to explain, but to soothe. One speaks of the beginning, how everything was once a single, endless breath that exhaled itself into being. Another speaks of light learning its own reflection, how it shimmered upon darkness and realized, for the first time, that it was beautiful. Others whisper of distant worlds, of oceans that shimmered under twin suns, of storms that sang to the night. Each memory unfurls like silk, delicate and slow. Their stories overlap, blending into one another until you can no longer tell where one ends and another begins. It doesn't matter. They are not telling you something to remember. They are helping you forget. Forget the boundaries, the lines between dream and waking, between self and space. Their words wash through you like warm water, softening every thought. The children laugh sometimes, a sound like bells underwater. It ripples outward, filling the dark with tiny sparks of light that flicker and fade. Their joy is gentle, unhurried, infinite. They do not laugh at anything. They laugh because everything is. You drift among them, listening. Their stories change the air. Each one leaves behind a faint scent of warmth, a vibration that lingers like the echo of a song. You realize their voices are not new. They are the continuation of the same hum that once filled the nebula, the same resonance that shaped the first stars. They are the keepers of the dream. Their chorus rises again, soft and circular. It feels like the universe humming to itself in sleep. Their words dissolve into rhythm, their rhythm into light, until only the feeling remains, a gentle truth that floats between silence and sound. The universe dreamed, and we were its dream. The children fade, one by one, returning to the glow that birthed them. Their laughter lingers a moment longer, then drifts away. Only the warmth remains, a whisper of peace, light as smoke, eternal as sleep. The laughter of the children fades, and silence settles once more, soft, endless, alive. The stars no longer sing, they breathe, exhaling faint ribbons of glow that ripple through the dark. You remain among them, still drifting, wrapped in a calm that feels like the pulse of infinity. For a moment, there is nothing, no sound, no thought, only the quiet shimmer of existence itself. Then, from that stillness, something begins to stir inside you. It is not memory, not exactly, more like recognition. A warmth spreading through your chest, gentle, radiant, familiar. You close your eyes, though sight has long ceased to matter. Within the darkness of yourself, you see it, a faint light, pulsing slowly, patiently. It feels like home. It feels like truth. You reach inward, and the glow responds. It expands, unfolding through you like dawn rising through mist. Your body, your breath, your very sense of being begins to dissolve into its brightness. And suddenly, you remember. You were never just a traveler moving through the universe. You were part of it, always have been, always will be. The light that filled the stars is the same that hums in your veins. The glow that birthed galaxies once flowed through your spirit like quiet fire. You are not in the universe. You are the universe, remembering itself through the shape of you. The realization is not loud. It does not shock or overwhelm. It arrives like a whisper, soft as breath against the ear. Every moment of wonder, every ache of distance, every silence you ever met, all of it was the cosmos learning to see itself from a new angle. All of it was love, disguised as curiosity. You open your eyes. Light pours through you, not from without, but from within. The darkness around you no longer feels vast or foreign. It feels like your reflection, deep and endless. You are both glow and shadow, both pulse and pause. You are the rhythm between stars. The memories return in waves, the birth of suns, the winds that sang through nebulae, the hum of planets sleeping in orbit. You were there for all of it. You are all of it. The dust that gathered to form your thoughts once shimmered in the heart of a dying star. The breath that moves within you now once danced through the lungs of galaxies. A quiet joy rises in you, not the joy of discovery, but of recognition. There is no separation, never was. The universe has always been whole, and you are one of its countless lights. You whisper to yourself, or perhaps to everything, I too was once light. The words ripple outward, touching the stars, the silence, the sleeping void. They do not echo, they expand, folding into the rhythm of existence, blending with the hum of eternity. Around you, the light deepens, then softens into gold. You feel yourself slowing, your glow merging with the great calm that surrounds all things. You exhale once more, not to release, but to join. And as your breath fades into the quiet shimmer of creation, the universe smiles through you, complete. The light begins to move again, not in haste, but in slow, graceful arcs. Its motion is tender, unhurried, like a final breath drawn before rest. The glow that once filled galaxies now gathers inward, folding upon itself, drifting gently toward the heart of darkness. You watch as the stars release their shimmer, one by one. Their radiance softens, dims, and then becomes transparent, not lost, but returned. Every beam of gold, every thread of blue bends inward, spiraling back into the great stillness that waits beyond form. The universe exhales, and light sighs back into the void. It is not sadness, it is peace. You follow the current as it drifts through the vast and silent corridors of existence. All around, the fabric of space ripples softly, like the surface of a pond, settling after a long, slow rain. The motion is calm, rhythmic, a lullaby written for eternity. You are neither watching nor separate. You are part of the drift, moving with it. As you travel, the glow grows fainter, yet warmer. Each flicker carries with it the memory of creation, the laughter of nebulae, the songs of winds, the pulse of sleeping stars. It feels like a farewell, but one without distance. Every place the light departs from glows for a moment longer, as though whispering, "Thank you." The stars are folding into their own reflections now, their brightness dissolving into soft hues that fade like candle smoke. Even the great galaxies, once wide and spiraling, now shimmer with gentle transparency. Turning to threads of silver mist, they drift backward into the same breath from which they were born. You can feel the center drawing closer, not a point in space, but a feeling, a gravity made of belonging. It calls softly, without words, only through recognition. It is the place where everything begins and ends, the still heart of all motion, the quiet source of all sound. Home. You breathe, and the air, if it can be called that, glows faintly within you. Each exhale carries a little more light away. Each inhale draws a little more silence in. The transition is seamless, gentle, inevitable. The horizon fades. There are no more shapes, no more edges. Even color gives way to transparency, then to warmth, then to the simple feeling of being. You can sense your glow blending with the countless others that have already returned. A million soft sparks merging into a single breath. The void accepts you without hesitation. It does not close around you. It opens. It feels like being held, like sinking into the arms of something infinite and kind. There is no weight, no movement, only the quiet awareness of returning. And in that final moment, as light slips completely into darkness, you understand. This is not an ending. It is the pause between heartbeats, the space the universe takes before dreaming again. The last flicker fades. The silence deepens. The journey is complete. The light has gone home. There is no motion now, only light. Not the light of stars or suns, but something deeper, purer, endless. It has no color, no direction, no origin. It simply exists, filling everything, becoming everything. You float within it, though floating no longer has meaning. There is no up, no down, no distance to cross. Everywhere is the same, bright, silent, infinite. The last shadows of space have vanished, absorbed by radiance. Even time hesitates, then dissolves. The light is warm, but not burning. It embraces without touch. It speaks without sound. It does not blind. It reveals gently, completely. And as it unfolds, you realize there is nothing left to reveal. The universe has shed its forms. Galaxies, stars, particles, all gone. What remains is essence, distilled to its simplest truth. Presence, no birth, no death, only being. You feel yourself dissolving, yet not disappearing. Every line that once defined you, body, thought, name, memory, softens, melts, fades into brightness. You are no longer the traveler, nor the listener, nor the dreamer. You are the light remembering itself. The sensation is not loss, it is liberation. To dissolve is to return. To vanish is to become infinite. You expand beyond measure, beyond awareness, beyond the idea of you. All separation fades. The countless voices of creation merge into a single tone, a hum so vast and gentle it cannot be distinguished from silence. It vibrates through the white glow, through you, through everything that ever was. The hum deepens until it becomes stillness. The stillness brightens until it becomes song. The song softens until it becomes light again. The cycle continues, unbroken, unending. You sense what remains beyond words, unity. There is no longer an observer, only the observing itself. No longer existence and void, only their embrace. The borders between self and cosmos blur, then vanish, then never were. The light grows thicker, denser, not as matter, but as meaning. It feels full, complete, eternal. You rest inside it, the rest no longer applies. There is no movement left to cease. And yet, somehow, everything continues. The glow hums softly, holding within it all that ever lived, all that ever dreamed. Every particle, every thought, every whisper of life, still here, folded into the radiance. Nothing was lost. Everything has become whole. The white expands until it is all there is. No past, no future, no horizon. Only a vast, living stillness. And somewhere within it, perhaps everywhere, a final breath exhales into forever. The light remains. For a long while, perhaps forever, there is only silence. White radiance stretches without edge, unbroken, unmoving. It is so complete that even the thought of motion seems like an echo. And yet, within that perfection, something stirs. It begins as a vibration, softer than breath, rising from nowhere and everywhere at once. Not sound, not light, simply the idea of awakening. The infinite whiteness quivers, a subtle shimmer crossing its surface like a sigh across calm water. It is the first dream forming inside light itself. The hum deepens. Faint ripples bloom through the radiance, slow and circular, expanding outward into nothing. Each ripple carries a whisper of a color, a trace of gold, a shadow of blue, as though the light were remembering what it once was. It is not rebirth yet, but anticipation, a quiet inhale before creation begins again. Within the endless brilliance, movement begins to gather. Tiny pulses blink in the whiteness, each one a seed of possibility. They do not yet know themselves as stars or worlds. They are simply warmth, curiosity, intention. The void listens, waiting, and then a pause, a breath, a heartbeat. The first tone returns. A single clear vibration hums through the brightness, pure as dawn. It does not disturb the silence, it completes it. The two coexist, sound and stillness, creation and rest, folding into each other like waves into tide. You feel it pass through you, gentle and patient. Every particle of your being trembles, not in fear, but in wonder. You recognize the rhythm. It is the same pulse that once carried you across nebulae, through stars, through the long dream of space. The universe is remembering itself. From the center of the whiteness, the hum becomes light again, but different this time. Younger, softer, curious. Shades begin to emerge, faint at first. Silver, rose, indigo. They swirl like breath through morning mist, forming patterns that resemble thought. The radiance is dreaming, shaping new beginnings out of its own calm. You watch as potential unfolds. The stillness that once held everything now begins to release it again. Slowly, deliberately, tenderly. Every shimmer, every flicker feels like an idea, a promise that what was once whole can become many again. You realize this is how it always begins. Creation is not born from chaos, but from rest. The universe must sleep before it can dream, must dream before it can awaken. And in every dream, a new spark waits to become light. The hum grows faint once more, but it does not vanish. It lingers, steady. The heartbeat beneath eternity. You can feel it, the gentle expansion, the quiet preparation, the pulse of possibility. The whiteness breathes. The breath becomes warmth. The warmth becomes light. And somewhere within that glow, a point gathers. Small, bright, patient. It will open soon, and from it, everything will begin again. The universe dreams, and this time, you are the dream. In the beginning and the ending, there is breath, not sound, not motion, but the quiet pulse that holds all things together. It trembles through the white expanse, a ripple of awareness spreading like dawn across a sleeping sea. The light stirs once more. It does not burst or blaze. It unfolds, tender as a yawn from eternity itself. A faint shimmer passes through the boundless whiteness, gathering in spirals too soft to see, too vast to name. Within it, warmth blooms, not heat, but life waiting to remember itself. You can feel it rise through the silence, a single inhale that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere. The void expands, welcoming, and from that expansion, something glows. It is small at first, almost shy, a spark no larger than the breath that created it. But the spark hums, and with that hum, the universe exhales. Light floods the stillness, rippling outward in slow, radiant waves. Each wave carries color, each color carries tone, gold singing into violet, blue melting into rose. The music of being begins again. There is no rush, no explosion, only unfolding. Creation reveals itself like memory, as though the universe was simply remembering what it loved to be. The stars are not born, they reappear. The darkness does not resist, it embraces. You drift within it, weightless, watching as new galaxies bloom like flowers in time lapse. Every pulse of radiance feels both ancient and new, as if each moment is both beginning and return. You realize there was never truly an end, only the pause between breaths. The cosmos breathes deeper now, its rhythm steady and infinite. Each inhale draws light from silence. Each exhale releases it into form. It is a cycle without boundary, a heartbeat without origin. You are part of that rhythm. Your being expands and contracts with it, your essence woven into the same fabric of energy and rest. You can feel it, the unity that underlies everything, the infinite gentleness that began as breath and will always remain so. The light continues to grow, spilling across the horizon of forever. Stars shimmer into existence. Planets turn. Winds begin to whisper across the newborn seas of time. Somewhere, a single sound rises, the soft hum of creation remembering its own melody. You breathe with it. Your inhale becomes its dawn. Your exhale, its twilight. There is no distinction between your pulse and the rhythm of infinity. You are both dreamer and a dream, light and witness, beginning and end. The universe smiles in its own quiet way. You can feel it in the space between heartbeats, a warmth, a shimmer, a truth too vast for words. All things end, only to begin again. The breath deepens once more, and the light folds into motion, a new cycle born from perfect peace. You close your eyes, and the cosmos opens them for you. The first stars awaken. The journey continues.